But before we actually talk about the proposed solution, the stages of development, and show you the demonstration, I want each and every one of you to take time and meet the team. Hi, I'm Shivam Rastogi, a computer science major.
I'm Matthew. I'm a second-year CS student.
Hi, I'm Ayuka. I'm a CS student.
I'm Kabian. I'm a freshman in CS.
I'm Isha. I'm in May.
I'm Nika. I'm a computer science student.
I'm Ryan, I'm a computer science student.
I'm Anisha, and I'm also a first year computer science student.
Driven by the belief that, and I quote, we believe in protecting and uplifting the dignity of the people. SFSL works really hard to bring compassion, respect, and hope to each and every table that they can reach. They're located in Cook County, Illinois, serving 15 villages and feeding up to 600 families. Their mission is to end hunger caused by unfair social circumstances, social conditions, life circumstances, and food injustice. Now, having learned what their mission is, which is to end hunger, these are some of the problems that SFSL face on a day-to-day basis. They rely on handwritten inventory, which itself is tedious, right? But it also leads to inconsistent and inaccurate records. This unstructured data makes it really difficult for them to identify the true demand of product. Furthermore, they wanted to visualize this data. They wanted to understand seasonality and customer behavior. With all of that, it also was really difficult for them to forecast the demand for the next month. Having understood that problems, we proposed the following solution. We proposed to create an inventory management system, a system that will allow them to track the items sold, a system that will help them visualize data, a system that will automatically update when there's a restock. With the data that we collect, we aim to help SFSL predict the future needs, ultimately allowing them to better serve their community. Thirdly, and I feel more importantly, we wanted to have a responsive and a more appealing UI. We wanted something that is easy to use and quick to learn.
So for our tech stack, we decided to use the MERN stack. I'm sure a lot of you guys are already familiar with it, but it's MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. So the first reason why we chose to use the MERN stack was because it allows us to use JavaScript across our entire stack. And with our limited time frame, we didn't really have much time to learn other technologies. So just being able to learn JavaScript and use it across our entire stack was really good for us. We also decided to use React since React, we were creating a dashboard, and React has a lot of libraries such as Recharts or Chart.js that really allow us to build the dashboard really easily, since you can make bar graphs, line graphs, pretty much anything you'd need on a dashboard. Lastly, we chose MongoDB since it has a flexible structure and a schema list. And with all our different types of items with different types of properties, a schema list database would work best.
And moving on to the next part, I'd like to present some rough ideas we had about our dashboard design at the earlier stage of development. The one on the right is a dashboard page that will display 26 spot supplies, volunteer information, and labor demographics. And the one on the left is an inventory page that will keep track of items in the country. We wanted this page to display the quantity predicted on the left and some other information. And on the same page, we wanted to have two features. One that will that generate a pre-filled, automated, order-only predicted quantity for next week's stock. And the one on the left is a pop-up message to add, remove, or edit the items from the database or change each one. And for the last pages, we wanted to dedicate 2 pages to generate graphs, tables, and charts about each item and our labor demographics.
Next, we'll be talking about all our stages of development. In phase 1, we focused on setting up the foundation. We did an initial commit, set up the repository structure, and created the basic layout. For phase 2, this was all about the dashboard itself. We built out each card 1 through 6, covering topics such as out-of-stock items, trends, and the type of neighbors we have. We modularized the cards for easy reuse and finalized the dashboard layout, adding icons and simple analysis. For phase 3, we expanded the function of the inventory management and repository We built the inventory page with editable tables and filters. We also added report cards for trends and introduced features like the make and order feature.
While the first three phases were more about the front end, we decided to do our last two phases on kind of the back end and establishing how we connect our basically our front end to the client data that we had been given. And with phase 4, we focused on the back end, implementing the CRUD for users, items, purchases, and neighbors. Phase 5 was more about refactoring and bug fixes. This meant making sure that our website would work as smoothly as possible without any errors or any print statements that we had implemented during our development phase. And phase 6 was just the final touches. We wanted to make sure that all of our client decisions were as efficient as possible, and we wanted the user to have their full potential of information that we wanted to give them.
All right, so our first page on this website was the dashboard, basically a snapshot for all pantry-related activity at SFSL, focused on 6 main metrics. First one is weekly visits, basically a count of the number of neighbors that were visiting SFSL's food pantry every week. Second one, units dispersed, a count for the number of items that were distributed over a specified date range. Third one, number of items needing restock, pretty self-explanatory. It counted the number of items whose quantity had dipped below a certain threshold. We also focused on more item-specific metrics. So most distributed items, we charted the items that were most popular over a specified date range. Previous restocks, so we displayed restocking activity that had happened in the past, along with their dates and relevant quantities. And then finally, recommended items for the next restock order. We tried to forecast items that should be added to the next restock and how much each. Basically, we wanted to design this dashboard so that it can be a snapshot for what's happening and what needs attention at the SFSL.
So next we have the inventory page, which is kind of like the heart of our application. So this page has 3 main functions. It has item management, which allows for full autonomy because we're, again, handing this project off to SFSL. So we want them to be able to easily kind of change the data that they have in the table if the autonomy isn't the same as what their accurate data shows. We also have edit transparency, which allows for them to see what edits were made, just to ensure that they know kind of where their table and their data is at. And finally, we have our order creation, which kind of allows them to easily create orders without having to go through the nitty-gritty of creating a new form or PDF. So now we have like a quick little demo. So first we go to our dashboard page, like we could just talk about. And now we have our inventory page where we have the top 100 items. And so we can filter through those items based on the status of the stock or based on the category. So right now we're looking at fruit and we see all the items with fruit. The next thing we have is all the buttons. So we have report sale, which allows us to report a new sale made by a neighbor. So you enter the item, the quantity, all the other relevant information, and then you can select the neighbor to ensure that that neighbor's purchases get updated. And then we also have toast implemented, which allows to make sure that all the data is accurate. So right now it's going to say that we have too much of quantity, and now we reduce it and it works. We also have a create new item button, which just creates a new item. So we enter all the relevant information. Right now I'm creating an ice cream item. And once we do that, when we go to the search bar and we enter ice cream, we see that it's created. But we do have a duplicate, so now we can delete all items also using our functionality. We have a make an order button, which allows us to make a new order. So first we select all of our items and then click make an order. And you can see all the relevant information and the quantity as well as the unit fee. And you can see the predicted quantity made by our predictive analysis. And then once we click create, we get a fully ready PDF to be sent out to suppliers so that we can easily manage our inventory. And the next thing we have is export CSV, which allows us to just create all the information in a readable format for other purposes that SFSL uses it for. And finally, we have our edit mode, which allows us to simply have the autonomy of editing items in case things aren't accurate or quantity of their items change. So they just add their name and the changes, and that can be viewed in our view log item, which is what we see right now. You can see all the past edits that we've made so that they ensure that they know what has been made to their log, as well as all the past restocks to know when they've last restocked. And next, we're going to move on to the reports page.
Okay, I'll be talking a little bit about our last page, which is the reports page. So first, your cards have item metrics for the past week. At the top left, you can see the number of items that were taken for the last week. At the top middle,
you can see the number of visitors who have taken a specific item. And both of these cards have a drop-down where you can select the specific item, so you can see data that's specific to that item. Now, the next two cards have visitor demographics. If you look at the top right, there's a gender distribution pie chart. At the bottom left, is a age distribution bar chart. We included these metrics so SFSL can make more informed decisions as to what items I should prioritize ordering in the future. And now finally, if you look at the bottom right, you have a card with a heat map of visitor locations. We included this info so SFSL can plan out their next location.
And finally, we moved on to making sure that as we progress through our stages of development, we accounted for all these testing strategies. So the first testing strategy we did was implement dummy data to simulate all of our possible edge cases that we were accounting for to ensure proper functionality across our dashboard, inventory, and report stage. Also, before finalizing our predictive approach, we also evaluated a baseline model, which was basically an estimation of future restock quantities based on the average of historical restock quantities that we had from shared food, share love. And once we were able to have both of these models, we were able to compare the accuracy percentage of the baseline model compared to our linear regression model. And from that, we were able to conclude that our linear regression model was the right choice for predicting our future restock quantities in an accurate manner. And finally, we would like to give a big thank you to Share Food, Share Love, and Half the Future for allowing us to take this amazing opportunity to make an impact for an important nonprofit organization. And thank you for listening.
Good work, guys.
You're so there.
Okay, amazing job by the inventory team. Making sure that all the logistics, all the behind the scenes work that keeps nonprofits running works smoothly is an incredible job by them. So now let's keep it going. Everyone, please help me welcome the SFSL delivery team led by Akash Ravandu. Hi everyone, we are SFSL Delivery. We're also working with Sheffield Channel, who is a team. We're focused on the delivery, order, delivery, so, first of all, let's go through and meet the team. Let's do some introductions. I'm Akash. I'm the team lead for this project.
I'm Daniel. I'm the designer.
I'm Srishti. I'm Ajuba. I'm also a developer. Arju, I'm a developer.
I'm Arian. I'm a freshman and a developer.
And I'm Anya. I am a developer.
All right, so first off, let's discuss who is SFSL. I know Shipam already touched on this, so I'll be brief. Share Food, Share Love is a nonprofit based in Brookfield, Illinois, and they are operating a food pantry that with the goal of alleviating hunger and eliminating food insecurity. One of their primary challenges right now is being able to get food to those who are elderly or homebound. Currently, anyone who wants to access SFSL's resources has to do so by coming in person. That's not feasible for those who are homebound. So SFSL wants to start a delivery service But in order to do that, they have to have a way for recipients to make orders at the time that they need the items, and for SSL to view those orders. So my team and I built an SMS-based ordering system, which would connect those in need with SSL's resources. How this would work at a high level is the recipient would open up their phone and they would interact with our SMS-based chatbot. And that would allow them to create an order, which would then be displayed to SSL through a web dashboard. To create our solution, we use industry standard technologies like Node and Express for our server application, MongoDB for our database, Twilio for our SMS order platform, and React for our web dashboard that will be used by SSL. So let's move into some of the core functionality of our project. First of all, we will be starting with Shreyas explaining SMS functionality.
Not only push orders directly through text messages, but also makes it such that our service is accessible to everyone, regardless of smartphone access or data plans. Our system follows a simple but powerful flow. First, when a user texts order to our service, we first check if the phone number exists in our wireless database. This security measure ensures that only approved members can actually place orders. And once the verification process goes through, the system then connects to SFSL Inventory API to fetch the most up-to-date catalog of available items. This built-up integration with the inventory queue system ensures that users can only see and order items that are actually in stock at that current moment. The user then receives a welcome message with these available items and instructions on how to interact with the system, so that, making any sort of changes to their order. From there, they can then interact with the system using several intuitive commands. So, for example, if they want to modify or add items to the cart, they simply have to just type in the name of the item, followed by a space, and then the desired quantity. If they want to remove an item, they simply need to pursue the same thing, but instead, just type in the name of the item, followed by a space, and then a 0. And once they want to confirm their order, they just type B or done. So behind the scenes, a concurrent order management system has been implemented that handles multiple users simultaneously. Essentially, each user's order is tracked in real time within a session, which allows them to build their cart in an incremental manner. Again, every message is validated against the latest inventory data to ensure requested items are available and in sufficient quantity at time of confirmation. When the user confirms their order, there's a final inventory check that's done for processing in order to ensure data integrity. So once verified, the order is then transferred to our central database, which then connects to the order display system that my teammates will be discussing next. But all in all, what makes the system so powerful is its end-to-end integration, from the SFSL Inventory API to our SMS interface, to final order processing. All of it creates a seamless experience for both users as well as the administrators. Thank you very much.
So until now, we focused on the user side of the application. The remaining of our presentation will focus on the admin side that SFSL will use to manage the incoming orders. So as we see, the login page supports a single admin user because our application is SFSL exclusive. And once the login is authenticated, the user will be directed to the SFSL dashboard to read the orders.
In case the admin does forget the password, the system uses the integrated SSL multi-handle password recovery. When you click forgot password, a link is sent to the email with a recovery, secure recovery.
Yeah, so this link includes a unique token that's generated by the backend and then which is verified using our server. This link is then sent using NodeMailer, and it is used to ensure that only authorized users such as the SFSL admin can access and reset the password.
Now we'll be talking about the dashboard page, which is how the SFSL has got its track to the order.
So as you can see here, this is the dashboard that we built in SFSL. over here it shows the pending orders that they have, with orders that they'll perform, with orders that they rejected, orders for the same state, and it shows also.
Each order can be secure for order and quantity. Essentially, what is like the second order and the second order form how it will impact the
Okay, now I will talk about the whitelist. So this is what the whitelist page looks like, and this is, as Shreya mentioned earlier, a way for SSL employees to look at their department users who have been approved by them. So the first feature is adding the user. So an SFSL employee will have to manually type in the user's name, phone number, and address to add the whitelist. Next feature is deleting user. So first, they can just simply hit the button next to the user's name on the whitelist page, and then to verify that they want to delete that specific user, they have to type in the name. The last feature is just searching for a user if the SFSL employees want to make sure that a certain user has already been added to the whitelist page, or if they know a certain user that they want to delete.
All right, so let's move into the live demo. So on the left, you can see SFSL's admin console. This is the web dashboard that they will be using to view the orders. So let's go ahead and log in. Put one password, first, password. But if we log in, it puts you to the dashboard page that we mentioned earlier. This is where the SFSL will be able to see the orders coming in real time. So let's go ahead and try to message our server. We can message anything at the beginning. And the order service would reply back with instructions on how to order. If we try ordering right now, it shouldn't work because we're not part of the program yet. SSL wants to restrict this order service to select few. So we go to the whitelist page and we see the people who are whitelisted to use this service. We can add ourselves in. Don't worry about it. Lawson Conlins is our address. And we can add in the user. Now we go back to the dashboard page and we try to order again. It should give us instructions on how to order. There we go. So it says, welcome to SFSL delivery service. List the orders that are available, the items that are available for order, and instructions on how to order. So let's add some apples to the cart. And the service will reply back with what we have in our current order. We can add, say, mangoes as well. And we support all operations like modifying the things in the order. Like if I wanted to make this apples 12 instead, we can do that. And it would update. So once we're done with creating our order, we can hit either D or done, and it would place our order. What happens now is the order is placed into our database where it should show up on the dashboard right there. So we can see the new order that's been placed, and of course, we can click into it and see the details. We ordered 12 apples, 5 mangoes, and who ordered it, the name, phone number, the address, and we can reject or fulfill the order. When we reject or fulfill the order, we also have the option to show a message, send a message back to the customer saying what we're doing. So to fulfill it here, we go to the orders page and we can see that the order has been fulfilled. And of course, this order page also facilitates sorting by pending, fulfilled, rejected, and searching by the name as well. Finally, if SFSL wants to remove someone from the whitelist, they can do so by going over to the whitelist page and deleting their user. Of course, there's a confirmation, and then the process is complete. like to thank the exec team for the opportunity to create this project and SFSL for allowing us to build something so useful and so impactful for their service. Thank you.
Okay, incredible job by the delivery team, making sure food gets delivered to families who need it most. That's impact you can feel right away. And now we'll hear a few words directly from the SFSL through a video.
Greetings. My name is John Dumas. I represent the Share Food, Share Love Food Pantry in Brookfield, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. I'd like to start by saying I really wish I could have been with you today. That was the original plan. I was looking forward to coming down, but I think as you can see from the strap here, I had to have some shoulder surgery, so I'm not able to travel at this time, which is disappointing, but I did want to send a video to say thank you. To Shivam and Akash and all their teams, they were really incredible to work with, very cooperative, very attentive to our needs, did so much work, did so much background work to make sure that they were going down the road that we wanted them to, that what they were doing was going to be able to help our pantry, and they really did a terrific job. Smaller nonprofits like us, we're aware of the technology that's out there and the different options that are available to improve your operation. But we are not able to expend much of our resources in that direction. So it's very difficult for us to get going and get up to date with technology. But because of the Hack the Future program and these wonderful students that helped us out so much, we were able to start moving forward. And we're very, very grateful to them and to the program and to everyone who was involved. So thank you all very much. Did a great job. And sorry again, I can't be with you, but we wish you all the best in the future. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Coming up next, please welcome the team that partnered with Medical Mutts, led by Preeti Jagadeesan. Oh, wait, please welcome everyone.
Hello everyone. We have partnered with a nonprofit called Medical Mutts to build them a feedback system web application. They are an Indianapolis-based nonprofit that trains rescue dogs to eventually become service dogs, and so it was an amazing opportunity to get to work with them this semester. We're just going to start off with some team intros. I'm the team lead. My name is Preeti. I am a computer science major at Purdue. I'm Pallavi. I was a lead designer, and I'm a UX design major.
I'm Siddharth. I'm also a computer science major. I'm Ari.
I'm Linda, and I'm a CS major.
I'm Joel, and I'm also a CS major.
Rohan, who can talk, Arlen, who can talk a little bit about medical notes.
Yeah, so medical notes is a nonprofit influence that has been concerned before rescues other dogs and programs to help people with diabetes, seizures, and other psychiatric conditions. It makes medical notes really great to reinforcement, positive reinforcement methods based on scientific research that ensures that that's not just equivalent to dogs and other people. So by combining scientific research and people medical notes are able to give dogs the central as well as the big people in that.
So, guys, now we can go to the form and we can go to we can work so we can work it out with the right system. So we can log it and just check it and we can get minded for it.
So to solve these problems that medical notes is facing, we decided to set out a few objectives. First of all, we want to create a homepage which would serve as a centralized area where users could fill out a feedback form. Secondly, we want to provide users with a daily alert log where they can update their dog's performance and condition. And finally, we want to create an automated email reminder system that would update users on the form due dates, as well as also update the medical month staff on their dog's performance and conditions.
Yeah, so for our front-end, we have the field with for our back-end, we have to deal with Firebase, because it's outdoor and off.
Using these technologies, we're able to implement several things to help forward our solution. Our main solution involves a centralized homepage with reminders at the top for users to complete their feedback forms, and everything is very accessible for users to navigate. The alert log includes customized questions based on the Firebase data about the user's condition, making the questions easily applicable to any user and their certain medical condition. We also have email reminders that are sent out 48 and 24 hours before the feedback forms are due, giving users a reminder to actually complete the form. And feedback forms with low dog performance are automatically flagged so that medical notes admin can easily take note of dogs that might be underperforming. And our app is both web and mobile.
So for our web app, we have a couple of main features that we want to implement. One of the biggest ones was the feedback form that the users are going to be able to use to let us know how they're doing and how the dogs are doing throughout the entire process. Next up, we have a daily activity log, which they're able to fill out every single time their dog alerts. And that kind of just gives the medical staff some context around the whole situation to see how the dogs are doing and how it's getting. Last up, we have an appointment scheduler in case they want to meet with a medical team member, and we have automated email reminders before the appointment. And all of these key features are going to be gone into more depth during the demo.
So as for development, we started by designing a prototype and then high fidelity UI pages. As we went into project development, the front end and the back end teams worked concurrently on key features which were then merged along the way. And testing and debugging was done at the completion of each of these key features. These are a few examples of our UI prototypes. So the homepage will give you access to both the daily alert log as well as the feedback form and then the FAQs.
So I'm going to have Udwal talk through
Yeah, now we're going to go through a quick demo of the entire process. As a user, once you open up the app, you can go and sign in really quick. You put in some information such as your email, name, and the specific condition that you have. And you can also give us an information of your dog, and your dog condition. So for the demonstration, we already made an account. So we're going to go straight to the login page. The login page in the demo, we're just resetting our password. And once we do that really quick and log in, we will get to the main home page, which is our phone, where we will get to the story. So on the home page, one of the biggest features we see is the email button, big red right in front of you. Once you click on that, you get to the service dog checking form. It's the main thing that medical dog members want us to kind of make it easier for the before this is a Google form and it's pretty hard to remember. But now you've got a website and we get automated reminders for it, but it's easier to choose that. And all this information goes to the back end, which the team members can access. So once we see that goes, we can also update the response section. And we do get the email reminders for that. In the demo, all the reminders are set at the same time. But in reality, we get one 24 hours event, one 3 hours event, and one 24 hours. So next up is the daily alert log, which the users are supposed to fill out after they log in every single time. And this changes depending on what conditions you have. For this specific one, the person suffers from diabetes. So that is what the question given the log has. And after this, if you have any questions on the whole process or about anything in general, you go to the FAQs page where you can search up any of your questions you have, and you can read a little bit of text that should help. If you have any more additional questions, we also have a contact section with the email and phone numbers of the medical team members for you to get in contact. Additionally, we have calendar functionality for you to schedule an appointment with them if you want to meet in person. And once that appointment is scheduled, it is also sent to the back end for the admin. Lastly, we have a settings page where you can go through and change all of your settings. For example, this person realized that they actually have seizures on diabetes. They can change that, and as you can see, the daily alert log automatically updates that. Next up, we also have a personalization page, and here's the functionality to change your password, which you can do really quickly whenever you want. And that's everything from the user side of it, from the normal user. We also have an admin login for the medical team members to use. And as they go through, they can log in with their specific email and password combination. And we have it set up in the back end to obviously make sure that those people are allowed to get into the system to get in. And in the admin page, we can kind of see all of the different users and alert logs that goes out and all the information they've given us. On top of that, you see the information they give and any important points highlighted in red. For example, for this user over there, they didn't have the best quality experience. And that's something that we want to highlight for the app. And that's the entire demonstration.
Moving on to some of our challenges that we face.
So one of the first challenges we faced was budget, the type of limitation, we did use all of the free resources that are out there, such as like Firebase, like here, as well as like so we need a much better
Right, so that wraps up our presentation for today. We'd like to give a huge thank you to Medical Months for the opportunity to work on such a meaningful project that has such a big impact on people throughout the community. And we also like to give a big thank you today to all of you all for tuning in and listening to our presentation. And of course, we're very proud to represent Hack the Future in supporting this amazing mission. So thank you so much.
Helping take care of service dogs for people with medical needs takes incredible coordination and care, and the medical muds team, their work, help make it possible. Next up, please help me welcome the team that work with A Safe Haven, led by Ethan Wang and Michael Lee.
Hi everyone, we are partnered with A Safe Haven, a nonprofit based out of Chicago. My name is Afrika Kavakadala.
Michael.
I'm Saida.
I'm Sid.
And Ethan, our team leader, is at LA Hacks right now. So A Safe Haven is a Chicago-based nonprofit that's helping people overcome homelessness and other substance use disorders. They offer housing, healthcare, and job training to promote people to stay on their own feet. They support veterans, families, and other people who are suffering through mental health disorders or substance use disorders. And they're focused on making a community impact.
And so here's the problem statement. Nowadays, mobile gambling allows instant bets anytime, a lot more accessible, which increases the impulsive behavior of gambling addicts. And a lot of personalized ads out there and promotions, they lure these users back to these gambling apps very easily. And the ease of deposits and credit card usage online lead to rapid debt accumulation as well. And many of these mobile platforms operate with minimal oversight from regulation as well, so easily exploit users. And with that problem statement in mind, we decided to create an app, partnering with them to mitigate these challenges. So project overview. For our gambling rehab mobile web app, essentially it is a mobile responsible web app that supports recovery from gambling behaviors through psychoeducation, real-time interventions, and self-monitoring tools. There's an interactive onboarding process when users sign up, and there's a progress dashboard for them to track their usage, and also gamified learning modules where they can learn about how to prevent and recover from gambling, gambling bad habits, and a craving journal and community testimonials for encouragement. And they can earn rewards to motivate them and maintain streaks for these motivations and access emergency help, all within our app. And so for the development, how do we build our web app? Obviously, a lot of this here, we've been using MERN, which is MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. And during our process, we use Scrum and Agile methodologies to continuously implement our features and make sure they're working. And this is kind of our timeline. We started with designing the user interface, planned out the data schema and logic as a team, and then implemented the backend, and then implemented the front end and integrated that. And so here are the features that we'll be talking about today. I'm not going to read off all of them, but we will be showing you guys.
Alright, so here are our initial UX. So when the user first enters the website, this is what they're going to see. They can scroll through users' testimonials and see what users came experiencing, and also just learn more about Safe Haven and what the app entails. And they can also sign up and log in. And once they sign up, they're going to go through the onboarding process. And as you can see, it's named and easy to use. Next, when we actually log in, this is Safe Points. So this is what they're going to be seeing when they first log in. They can scroll through any of the features, and then it's also inspired by a different edtech platform. But this is where they're going to see all the learning modules and also how they're progressing. And next is testimonials. This is where users can view all the testimonials and also be encouraged to add their own testimonial using like a footer, sticky footer at the bottom. And lastly, this is the journal design. users can see their previous journals, current journals, and also drafts. They can edit and also create journals. And as you can see, throughout this whole time, we chose soft and muted colors just so it doesn't trigger the users, especially with colors like red.
Now we'll be moving on to our implemented features. And so first, here's the landing page where we implemented 5 kind of parts of the landing page. The home, where we kind of show the initial introduction to the web page, the mission page, the about us, testimonies, and here the contact page where you can contact the Safe Haven administrators and members. And, when we click into the sign up and login, which the user first signs up, they're going to have 2 options to sign up, which is one with email. So when they get their email, they first they put in their email and then they'll send a confirmation link. And they'll go to the confirmation link, confirm it, and allow them to log in. And during the login process, there will be an onboarding process where they answer a series of questions, going through picking a profile picture, security questions, and the phone number, and also just kind of their having a general idea of their habits, gambling habits, which can allow the administrators of Safe Haven to, better provide solutions for them to recover from their gambling addiction as well. And this is just using the Google login option.
So for the journal, we just wanted an easy way for users to store their thoughts. So as you can see, you're greeted with your most recent journal entries and beyond. If you click the add button on the bottom right, you're greeted to the form page and also the mental health crisis hotline. And here you can put in your triggers, phrasing, what intensities are occurring at, and also any additional thoughts you may have. On the right side, we have a tracking summary and a monthly calendar, which lets the user know which date they've added entry. And as you can see, when you reload the page, the most recent entry shows it at the top. And yeah. And so we really just wanted a simple way for users to store their thoughts. We wanted to make it as simple as possible so they can focus on themselves more than anything. And just like an easy way to track their entries through the tracking summary and the monthly calendar.
So next is our testimonies feature. So we really just want to implement a way that users can upload their own stories from their own recoveries and share it to other people who are also using this web app. So first you can fill in the amount of time it's been since you recovered from your addiction, and then also the content of your testimony. And after submission, you're brought to your own page where you can see all the different testimonies you've submitted so far, and also some stats like how many submissions you made per month. Then you can also edit any testimonies you made in the past. And then after that, you can view testimonies that have been approved by the admin from all the users, different users, where you can read from other people. And you can also filter these testimonies looking for keywords, dates, or specific names. And we also avoid putting last names to maintain anonymity. And finally, we have the admin panel. So all testimonies must be approved to be put on the public testimonies page. And then, yeah, so you just need to be approved so no bad testimonies get. So this is really just to give users an opportunity to share their gambling recovery stories online and hopefully inspire other gambling addicts to begin their recovery journey too.
Up next, we have learning modules. Learning modules are a way to help gambling recoveries kind of learn about resources and tools at their disposal to kind of stay on track. So learning modules are more or less quizzes that they complete, which they can then use to earn achievement points and maintain their streak. As you can see, if you get a question right, it's bright green. If you get it wrong, it'll turn red and highlight the right response. And when you're done with the learning module, you will be awarded the proper achievement points.
The goal with learning modules is to help users understand why it's important for them to recover through their addiction, and it's giving them a way to learn about why their addiction is working the way it is and what steps they can take to recover to their addiction.
The other rewards one is the user consider models of other users. So we get points for the beginning tools and the ending tools. So you're like adding a channel too. You can see like certain things you can and you don't have to like usually and so this is another calendar limit. So each will get a user on the website to see users. So if you can next thing, you will get to so the point of the rewards page is just like a search to show the user that their progress and how much they can website and how much they have to learn about it.
Yeah, so here's a demo of the profile page. Profile page is going to be a personal dashboard with all the user information. So we have all the user editable user information, form, style, field. The information is always verified client side before it's submitted to make sure that it's in the right format and it's updated in real time. And you can change the profile picture to a group of selected profile pictures. So, yeah, protects the website from bad data.
And we want to thank you all for being here today and for Hack the Future for giving us the opportunity to partner with a safe haven and hopefully really make an impact on anyone who is part of the safe haven. Thank you.
Great work, guys. Helping with gambling prevention programs is tough, important work, and you guys tackled it with real thought and real heart. Now let's move on to the next team. Please help me welcome the team that partnered with Rock MN, led by Vanamali Dhruvas.
Hi everyone, we are Rock MN, and we are partnered with Rock MN, who is based in Minnesota. And to introduce the team, my name is Vanamali Dhruvas, and I'm the team lead. And unfortunately, our designer Alyssa Vo could not make it today.
I'm Drew, the developer.
I'm actually a developer.
My name is Trace, and I'm a developer.
I'm a teacher and also developer. And I'm also developer.
So, what does Rock Minnesota do? Rock Minnesota collects donations as well as provide donations to students that live in nearby school districts. They provide bags with 2 breakfasts, 2 lunch, 2 snacks, and a drink. And they also provide donations such as personal hygiene items and clothes. And they run on volunteer deliveries, and they depend on these volunteers to deliver in packages from which they separate all the items that they will provide in the future. So the current issues that they had when they came to us was that they didn't have an inventory management system. They had a warehouse, but they could not pick the stock, and they had no dashboard to show the donation stats of the donations they received as well as provided. So our task was to create an inventory management system for Rock Minnesota. And we talked to Rock Minnesota, and she mentioned that everything was tracked manually, and that's such a big hassle for the nonprofit because they already have so much work to do. And to be able to not automate it but track it manually is very tedious for them. And our task was given to us to automate the process. So what our client needed was to keep a record of items collected, the date received and date donated of the items, the expiration date of the items, Also won filtering and sorting capabilities, as well as to keep record of the amount of each item that she received and donated. The user interface needs consisted of easy to use and intuitive design, and inventory levels on the dashboard, ability to find items that are low in stock, and data visualizations for stocks input. Like many of the other teams here, we also use a MERN stack, which is MongoDB, Express, React.js, and Node.js. Their designer used Figma to create it. Now I'd like to hand it off to Team 1, Ashmi and Yuchishi.
So our team was mainly prioritized with calculating integration between a Google Sheets structure and our MongoDB database backend. So our main task was trying to figure out how to sync data into these two platforms. We first addressed dependent synchronization from a MongoDB to Google Sheets, and we found that this was pretty straightforward because there was existing extension on Google Sheets and Filtration that very seamlessly pulled information from the MongoDB database to Google Sheets, presenting it in a very clean fashion. However, when we tried to figure out how to go the other way around, where we take the information from the database to the MongoDB, we found that we had to create our own Express server to handle this accidental. So we needed to create this Express server to enable this to happen. So we enabled the API and also brought a GCP file from the API, so we were able to do data from there.
In addition to this, we wanted to make sure that we were correctly processing our data. So this meant checking for the commit entries, and for each entry, checking that the fields have the correct values, and how to handle missing values as well as negative values. In addition to this, we also wanted to automate data fetching, and the way that we did this was by using NodeCon, which is in JavaScript, and this allowed us to sync our Google Sheets and our MongoDB every 3 hours, but in our demonstration, we haven't synced it. So this is just a demonstration, and as you can see, this is the MongoDB database, and currently we have 50 documents. But then when we go to the Google Sheets and we add a new entry, you will see that the total documents in MongoDB equals to 51 documents after a commit. So once you go back to the MongoDB database, you can see that it's 50 documents, and then once you refresh it, you can see the document count increased to 50.
So next, I was tasked with mainly implementing what the core designer had for us, specifically our items table, which is our inventory, stores all the items. You're able to edit these items, and also search throughout these items through the name or the category. And also, when we edit an item, we realize that Rocketman, they mainly they update their stock through either receiving or giving donations. So that's something that you can do as well. And we can also see a history of that and read items. I also implemented a groups page. For instance, if Rocketman has a fundraiser or like they need to group items together for lunches or whatnot, they can do that. They can click the group button on the items page, select items, and that will display on the groups page where they can edit the group, edit the quantity of each item, and lead a group. And finally, they also had purchase documents where they were able to purchase items from different vendors. They wanted a place to consolidate all these, so I created another page where they upload these purchase PDFs, it parses and displays it as such. And we also have searching and sorting features.
Okay, next we have a look at the homepage. And Rocketman wanted a very clear single website where we can
also able to edit and add new items that we find. So for example, we have an item number even house in the work stuff. So for some items we want to check
And we finally created a data forecasting model that loads and compares the top series data. And all the client has to do is input a CSV file that will essentially act as the data set for the inventory. And we built this using Facebook Profit, which we use to train a model on historical data from the RockMN the database. And this worked to create visualizations and also future predictions for how the data can change over time. And we also used Python's matplotlib library and also Profit's inbuilt functions to develop these capabilities. And the video shows how the charts and the graphs look powered by Facebook Profit.
Here's a small demo on our website. So as mentioned, this was the homepage. You go to the dashboard, you get the items page. Right now, I also made it so this items table grabs the items from our Google Sheets, auto-populates it, and yeah, we also have a low stock flag that they also wanted us to create, which we can edit for each item, depending on what they want for each item. To create an item, you click this button, create an item. With all the desired fields, and you can create an item that populates down here. And for each item, let's say they donate or receive an item, you can select an action in a group, whether they receive specific items. You can have the expiration date, and then a donation date or a receiving date. So if you submit this, you can see the item change. Sometimes I reload with the other. Not to reload the other items open, but here you can see history of what the receiving history or also donation history if you donated the item. So that's a little bit of this items inventory page. We also have groups, so if you go back to here and you want to group them together, create that group, the name, and that gets created. So you can go here, and then you can also edit the quantity of each item you want in this group, and the group name, and you can leave the group when you're done. And we also have a purchase history page where you can upload these purchase documents. So well, it's probably something to do with the merge conflicts that we have, but it usually works. It parses through. I use a Python script, PDF plumber, which parses through user rejects and auto-populates here. And you can also have filter through them through dates or range of dates and the purchase dates also. Yeah. And lastly, I want to thank everyone, especially the exec board, for helping us through this process. And I want to thank RockMN for giving us the opportunity to work on the project with them. And I want to thank Carrie, who is the nonprofit lead, for being guideful to us and helping us throughout the process. And I especially want to thank my team, who has worked very hard over the last year. And I just want to give a round of applause for them.
The document team helped break down barriers to learning by supporting access to basic needs, work that opens real doors for real students. And finally, closing out the presentations, please welcome the team that worked with Rebuilding Together, led by none other than Youngjun Yu.
Hello everyone. Today we're walking through the project we've been working on with Rebuilding Together Display Network, highlighting the journey, the technology, and the features we built to support their mission. So here's a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. We'll start with team intros, then move through the problem we tackled, our goals, the technologies we used, key features we built, and finally we'll finish off with our live demo. Before we dive into the project, we'll meet our team. I'm Youngjun, I'm a team lead.
That's it. I'm Arya, and then we also have Anu, who's part of our mentorship, which is not here right now.
I'm Ben.
I'm Ayush. I'm Parth, and we also have Soumya, but she couldn't make it today.
Yeah, so our partner, Rebuilding Together Display Network, is a non-profit focused on preserving affordable home ownership and revitalizing communities. They offer critical repair services for low-income seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities, helping keep their homes safe and accessible. So their main challenge was that they needed a better way to showcase their ongoing and upcoming projects, and also enable easier donation and volunteer signups, and help project managers track project details more efficiently. So that's where we came in with a solution to build using the MERN stack. So to solve these problems, we set 4 main goals. First of all, we wanted to create a project calendar with an expanded view, and we wanted to build a user and admin profile, setting up a smooth sign-up and login flow with Google Auth, and developing a project contributions page, not for volunteers, but for project managers to comfortably edit project details like donation goals, volunteer lists, and other important information.
Now under our tech stack, as Jim mentioned, we primarily used MERN architecture as well as Material UI for helping with front-end components, and TOE and CSS for styling. And then Cloudinary we used in addition to MongoDB for storing images from our database, because it helps to speed up network requests and compress images to store them more effectively.
We started our design process everything in the fall. Me and Jim, we coordinated with the nonprofit to see what they wanted, because we already had an existing website. These are a few of the early designs we had. Now we're going to dive into some of our key features. So one of the first key features we have was a login and sign up page, which was implemented also with Google Authentication for easy account creation. We also have a user survey that all volunteers must fill out before they are directed to a profile page. This gives project managers insight into volunteers' availability and experience.
So in terms of profiles, we had 2 different kinds of profiles on our site, one for admin, one for volunteers. So the admin profiles had the ability to view all of the very specific details of projects going on, create projects, delete new projects, as well as upload photos from events that happened that will display on volunteer profiles. And then there was a master profile specific within the admin profile for one particular account that could then manage all of the other admin accounts. For the volunteer profile, that's where there's the gallery view, where volunteers can see photos that admin have uploaded or projects that they were a part of, as well as download various documents such as tax forms or a sponsor package, and view upcoming events that are happening.
We also had a project details page where admins can edit the details of each project, such as the donation goals, the volunteers list, materials list, and things like that. And we show the details in the clean UI. There's also a project calendar with a detailed view, and this shows a clean view of projects using a tile view. And clicking each project shows a detailed view in a pop-up window.
So now here we have a demo of how a login page works. So when a user signs up, they'll be directed to a page and they can create a password and give them their email. And from there, they will be able to kind of sign up and be directed to a volunteer survey page as I mentioned before. And again, on this page, they can put in all their relevant information to make it easier for everybody together to have a more streamlined approach to getting all the data from their volunteers, as opposed to what they had before, which was just kind of a money.com. In addition, contributors can put how they're affiliated, how many hours they want to work, different things like that, and their skill sets again. And then everything will be sent to the database, and users will be directed to a profile page. And once users have their own profile and email password, all they have to do is log in, and they will be able to access their profile page. Again, this just makes it easier for volunteers to have a more personalized view of the project they're working on. We also, again, this is a demo of our Google applications, and you can see this before you have students sign up and log in. Next, we're going to move on to our homepage demo. Here we have our homepage where you can see all of our projects and kind of what we organized, and also their center view. As kind of you add a project, they can add to the bottom and also like get centered for easy consideration.
In this page, we have all the information about the project. When we follow with the title, we get about the donation goals. Yeah, it says, I'm looking at this, look at the materials listing of what objectives, which should be updated for every project. We can also get assignment to the year for a project. And this interface just helps to collaborate and makes sure that the project members are completing the project members.
In addition to the bed, there's also the project description, which kind of covers the project scope and goals to make sure that the entire team is kind of aligned and going with what's happening.
Now looking at the demos for the profile pages. So we'll start off with the video on the top right. Up there, this is for a volunteer profile. So you can see the left side has some basic profile information like affiliation name, contact information, and then you can click the upload photo button to upload a photo. And then on the right-hand side is a display with various options. So right now it's set to gallery. So those are the photos that admin can upload in order to display on volunteer profiles. And then you can see now you can download various documents through the hamburger icon there. And then the final option is the upcoming events, which just gives a very brief overview of the same events that showed up on the calendar view. And then you can get more details from the calendar page. Then for the admin profile, this looks pretty similar in terms of the layout, but there's some added features. So this is showing the uploading photos option. So you can upload many photos, select which users attended that event, and then upload the photos for them. And then once those photos are uploaded, we can go to a volunteer profile here and refresh the page. And now that's when the photos will show up on their gallery. And then there's also buttons to this is the master account. So there's buttons to manage and add new admins. So you can take a regular profile and click, turn it into an admin account. And then you go back to that volunteer profile. Now it becomes an admin account. So they have that ability to create new admin accounts basically as new project managers join their team. And then you'll notice that the buttons for add and mention admin weren't there for the other admin account because it wasn't the master account. So you can switch the master account here as needed, and that gives the option. And then finally, an option to remove the admin from if you want to just turn it into a regular volunteer profile.
I'll continue what Ben was speaking about and move on to the details for the admin page. Over here, you have the add project option, which allows you to add projects for your own organization. You can enter a title and then a description. Over here, we're having a Save Trees project going on. After entering the description, you can put an image that you want. You have to enter a free image. And after the images, you can put in the dates that the project is going to last for and the donation amount that your goal is. You also have materials list and a checklist that's there. where you can add in information right now and also do that later on. Here we add the project, then you can scroll down, go to the project, and it shows you the goals and the materials that we added. Then if you're done with the project, you can then go back and delete the entire project. Now, say the admin wants to adjust some of the metrics or list of the project, they can go to the contributions page from the admin profile. Here we can manually add some of the donation money that you may have received. You can see the pie chart gets updated. You can also add materials, remove materials, mark them as received, and make sure to save them. As well as you can add manually add volunteers with their name, affiliation, and you can mark if they've signed a waiver or not. And lastly, you can also add tasks to your checklist, remove tasks from your checklist, as well as mark them as completed. And once we save, we can reload the page and we'll see that everything's been saved.
Yeah, so throughout the project, we encounter a few technical hurdles that we have to work through. First, when trying to pull project data directly from their Monday.com CRM using their API, we quickly realized that the data was very unstructured. So instead of clean standardized format, the information was spread out across different fields, which made it extremely difficult to parse programmatically. So after some exploration, we decided not to manually insert data into our own database, which would be a much faster and more reliable solution for our project timeline. And another challenge came when designing our MongoDB schemas. Since MongoDB is a NoSQL database, we didn't have a fixed relationships like a SQL database like MySQL or PostgreSQL. This meant that we had to be extra careful and thoughtful about how we organize overlapping data and fields between projects, users, and photos to make sure our data remained consistent and also easy to refer. And lastly, for storing volunteer photos, we initially considered directly storing images inside MongoDB, like encoding and decoding large image files. But we had realized that those will create unnecessary load on our database. So we decided to include Cloudinary, which is an external image hosting service, and we store just the image. We store only the image URLs in our database, and this approach has kept our database lightweight, and also it also improved performance for over our applications. And we would like to thank Hack the Future and RTPM for giving us the opportunity to build this project.
Now we'll take a moment to hear from the Rebuilding Together nonprofit for a short video.
I just wanted to come on here and give a huge shout out to Team Hack the Future. Thank you so much for this web app you developed for us. This absolutely revolutionizes our workflow. It takes so many different disparate disorganized tools and parts and brings them into one place. And I can't tell you how much this helps us to keep our project straightforward, keep everybody on the same page, and ultimately helps maximize the service that we give to the community. Thank you so much for this. I admire and respect your work ethic and all the hard work you put on this so much. Thank you and congratulations on your big event.
Okay, and with that, let's give just one more big round of applause for all of the incredible teams here. So now we're going to move into the next part of the evening. We're going to be taking some professional photos with all of the project's teams and all of Hack the Future. We also have a photo booth set up that we spent $600 on, by the way. If you want to take some fun pictures with your teammates and friends And then after that, we'll be serving dinner. While you're eating, you're welcome to walk around, network, and meet some of the other teams and guests. And in about 20 minutes, we'll bring everyone back together for final closing remarks. So let's take some photos, grab some food, and then I'll see you guys back here in a bit.
Do you want a different screen up there?
Oh,
Yeah, for photos.
yeah.
Those all check out. $600. Yeah, so I saw the numbers.
Or not.
That's my social. We have a video. It's pretty cute. This is Oh, 40,000 is start. So I'm actually yeah. But we doubled last year. If you look at social media, like that's crazy. I wish you could see here. Let's hear some of the stuff I have to say, but yeah. I'll send. Oh yeah. Oh, we have them. But I can take some. There's some stuff from here on out that I think you should just read. None of them have done it, but or so, all of this is just this shape my heart, and I think you should feel it because it will be a good representation of the passion that has been. From here on. So, this is it. Make sure okay, so we make an announcement and we have everyone probably in front of us. And then we get one and all of us. So, thank you. No, we are. You invite no job, we ordered to make you and to people.
Jenna, are you? And you said that you don't like once you drink hot water, we have like thank you so much for so what happened is we applied for Sonar, and then we really wanted to come up with it, but then we didn't like plan ahead, and then we said photograph or photo booth, and we really tried to change that to get like waterproof, but then they're like, no, you can't do that. And so we're like, well, we have the money. I think it's mostly because like in the past the club hasn't had it, so they're probably just like, Honestly, my favorite part is the diner toys on the tables. Our club's mascot is a dinosaur. Because I like steal one. So has it been a lot of like rappers? Are you a student of yours?
Still on the live stream.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, because we're doing. He has his
Oh yeah.
video.
Yeah, let's continue. Where's that Akash?
What about him like listening to Damn, you sold that hard. You sold that hard. Yeah, I actually believe you. You're really But you might actually get rid of that.
Don't worry.
You might like
Bro, you're taking pictures.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
I mean, the food is good. Like, actually, why are you sitting here so tight? Isn't that where the art play guy is? Never. Both B and B. Oh my God.
Everyone, if you haven't signed the board that's over there, go and do it. There's a board over there, like a black board. Just go and sign it if you haven't already. I was in there like
Oh, I did not read.
Get ready to spin the game. Bro, just go to Hilly.
So that's not mine. Yeah, no. Mark's team, I blame Mark's team. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone is getting that. You got two talkies? I only got one. Oh, one shake, one shake. Look at all. One for salt. Oh, yeah.
We just need like one active food. So I'm not sure who said you can take food already, but that's not.
No.
I didn't because
Yeah.
Wait, where are we going? I was about to sit down.
Wow.
Are you taking grading one next semester?
Okay, once you get the resolution.
All good. Ben. You know, luckily I got those players. I didn't know they were off. Oh, you're not? Like, yeah, I don't have a wonder. Some people consider it not like.
I guess it's not vegan. Some people like.
It's a controversial. Some people.
Oh my. Yeah, exactly.
That's why I don't consider
Shivam, you got the digital versions of the pictures, right? Remember to send that.
La Scala, but like Italian. I like their meal.
Oh yeah.
My brother used to make it for me growing up. But since he moved out, my parents don't do a very good job. Yeah.
Rice bowl or so like previous starting like meat rice for Pilova. Otherwise Pilova and chicken or each
When you had the wrong time.
yeah.
Wait, do they still? Do they still?
I only eat at That's the only dining room. Like, first of all, I don't go to the dining room. Yeah, that's why.
We obviously have. You actually consider Airhouse better than Manchester. At least you get something. Manchester is good. Yeah.
Wait, am I required to get a meal plan everywhere? Oh, but if I'm like still in the house, we have like a block plan. Like if I'm like house like through the Purdue portal, then you don't have to get a spy.
Oh,
I'm there. Well, I live there. You like it? It's pricey. That's why I'm not living there next year.
Someone said that like the AC says that you can't control the AC.
Well, we can. It's not that big of a deal. Like they don't. Well, you can actually. It's alright. We have things. It's like they have. They're like not turning it on for. We can bring in like a space heater. Like that's all.
No, the warm is fine if the cold is. Yeah, because I don't know, one of the winter days, it has been like, it got really warm and I could not change it. No, I have that.
No, but you can get like a Dyson and it has hot and warm. Cold. Yeah,
No, I just
my brother. I'm gonna take it from him. Hillenbrand. What are you doing next year?
No, if you go to Sushi? Isn't that more expensive? Sushi was room to yourself.
Addisfire? Or Addisfire too. But
15 for two.
that's a lot. Wait, what?
Yeah, huh?
Because I paid like.
No, wait, it's 1,500 for. I have a 4-bed, 4-bath. Or I have a 4-bed, 2-bath. Addisfire. And that's
Oh, I might be fucked, guys. Because I have the same thing. Oh, yeah. Is that? Yeah, it's definitely because mine is like a. I thought it was like 7,000, like a year.
Yeah. If 7,000 is for a year, then you're like.
I know. They need to make cheaper houses. They're one of making it expensive right now. My friend lives in Chicago, and his apartment is cheap. My brother lives in New Jersey, and his apartment is cheaper than mine. My friend lives in New York, and his apartment is so actually everyone's house is cheaper than mine. New York, Chicago. What? I'm living in Hillenbrand. But next year, I'm not aspired. I don't know. They're like getting.
A couple of.
Oh, and then there's a Hillenbrand part. Hey, I'm just glad to be out of the learning community.
I'm with 7 on TA for that.
You're a TA? I hate.
I do. I need to be a short.
I hate that class. So
I'm just gonna be on Piazza. That's my job.
The only reason why I do German is because
Yeah, no, same. Dude, I got a single in freshman year. In Italy.
I know, you have to.
1 per floor.
I got a triple.
I got it.
I got a triple, and I did it for data.
Yeah, I know. All
Yes, you did that.
They changed that.
Yes, some people don't know how to like think about it themselves. Nobody, but like. They clean it once a week, but like that is not.
I thought they do.
They can like you did so good. They weren't going. I really want to live in the
Why does it say lost in study space? No.
What? Let's show it to Simon.
Yeah.
Can you send it on the Slack? I send it to you. Okay. One time there were like always up for. You said it?
Yeah, you know what? For like a computer science organization, there were like a bunch of technical issues.
Yeah. I don't know if that's our contribution. That might just be like the
Right.
screen.
This is not really my
Yeah. That's what I was
You know that this thing wasn't working well? Like, Sana was trying to fix it for like 2 hours, good 2 hours, right?
Really?
Yeah, like as soon as you plug in this, you might be able to actually use it on software.
What?
Like when you plug in these, you might be able to
Yeah.
like, you can give it a video in the slide or something.
Oh.
Wait, how did ours work?
No, he's
It didn't work on the big screen.
no, he's using it. It didn't work on this or that. Right?
Yeah. But ours,
No, ours is a gift.
no, it's like
Because I thought I could not control it. Wait, where do you think I should send it? Like announcement and send it? Yeah.
Put it in Slack.
Yeah.
Just post it on Instagram, actually.
No, this picture.
I know. Oh, yeah, put it on Slack. And like the whole thing. I don't know why he.
I don't know why I said this.
This guy, he said sour for the year.
He told it to me, bro.
it's all your fault. Way to be out of
We deserve
Well, like, I think that's one of the strategies.
to get people to come to lie, but also like own parts.
He like actually let's promote the strategy. And it's pretty cool.
Wait, what happened? The strategy of overhyping it?
Yeah, no, not really that. So, like, he was saying good job, bad job with some people. And then it was like, all the acceptances were sent by his name, and the rejections were sent by a person who portrayed as a bad job.
He was fine.
They didn't even send me an acceptance or a rejection. So I'm like, and I forgot to like send an email. My mom always is like, we have to send a follow-up email after like an interview, and I forgot to do that. So like 2 weeks after my interview, I was like, oh, time to send a follow-up email. And then apparently, this is really bad, but it's over now. Apparently the decisions came out the day that I sent my follow-up, and he never like sent me something. He was never like got it or you got rejected. So I sent him this long ass email. And it looked like I was begging for a response. And it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever like in his response because I woke up really early like last semester. So I sent it like pretty promptly at like almost 5 in the morning. Because like I was up, like I remembered I was up, so I wrote it. But then he was like, I can't imagine why anyone else would send an email at this like early in the morning. And I was like, this is so
I know this is here for like 15 more minutes if you guys wanted to go back.
Yeah, well, usually it is like that. So all the TLs knew that they are becoming the team. If you not tell it to me, it's like the final. Like you know when you all got to know that you're developers, that was when I got to know that I was Right, yes, what is it?
I thought it was
fasting. Check to say you're judging me. You're judging me. You're the one who gave me the idea.
Why would you want to graduate? I'm glad it's
Yeah. If you have good experience and it makes sense to that, everything, but you just don't quite experience.
I get that, but once you start working, you're like committed. Like you have to finish it off for the next like 40 years or whatever. Why 1 year? A lot of people like Beverly Cousins, like the pension they give you.
But think about it, like 3 years in it, you also like you become like a fresh grad, but one less semester. No, you're not getting any credit. Yeah, not a good one as a sophomore. And by junior, you're already graduating. Like by junior, you're supposed to have like full-time experience. Find out. Right. Like really nice. But then you're like, I didn't only
Like it makes sense to me if you're doing a 3 years.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense. But I worry about like developing my portfolio before going into and just like missing out 1 year and then competing with people who are already your older. That sucks. My brother graduated a year earlier too, and he did podcast. What did he study? It's like computer science and data analytics. Yeah, he graduated. No, I.
My brother's in IU.
What?
Yeah.
Well, like,
I don't like that.
grateful I'm not doing it.
You're gonna
I've done a little bit of oh, yeah.
I'm not good at time. I'm not good at mostly time.
Are you?
Did they have like what computer science?
I have a computer class, but it was like
Wow, you don't like it. Why not?
You're in Allen.
Yeah.
Is Allen? Did not have like they don't have the
There's a CSP. I've heard of that. That probably had it. Hey everyone. Sorry, really quick. We'll be starting with the closing in 5 minutes. So I know that's a lot of food. See if you can wrap up. That's all.
It depends. If you don't like the normal stuff, you oh wait, yeah, it's not.
For what?
I think it might be Adams. Did you have Adams?
No, but I think I do.
It's not. When?
Like somebody else.
Oh wait, did you have the what's her name? Selfie? Yes.
Wait, she's a professor of like 3 different courses. She's a high for 182 and Saturday 50.
No,
Why are you disappointed in me?
allegedly, from what I heard,
Yeah.
like, her first.
Oh, no.
And then,
I think it's all the way
and then she,
No, it was just I know the guy. It was just like unnecessary. So like mid-semester, or like I think it was end of the semester.
Then you would know.
Was it like? I only like third grade.
yeah, but then I just heard she just like stepped down. She just like quit teaching.
She what?
No, she quit teaching the course.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
She just like called in sick for the next class, and then like the class that's blocking.
that's crazy.
I heard Rocky was like harder than stuff.
I can't believe people like he didn't know it was not like
Oh really?
I didn't like
Then you got
yeah, makes sense. But I think it all sounds like I know he's like super cute too, and I think he's like
I think I made 61. It's like
Graders,
he's teaching not
no, I would have taken it if I didn't start always teaching. It's gonna be so fucking fun. No. Apparently, it's been like shit. Like
yeah.
previous semesters, but I feel like that was good. There was also, yes, very awesome. Yeah. I heard it.
Oh no,
No, I did it. And my handwriting was
No, we were supposed to like, that machine tells you
What? Are we done?
Oh,
Oh,
never
let me see. How many tape? Oh, like oh,
Are you sending it? Yeah.
yeah. Bennett, do you want the slide screen?
Video? Are you doing a video?
Yeah.
Okay, hey everyone. Can you get those guys to sit down?
Dude, he's leaving. He's not listening to me. Can everyone take a seat, please?
Hey guys. Let's get started with the closing. I promise it won't be long.
Yeah, just leaving it alone.
It's actually pretty short. So I just want to leave some final remarks before we leave for the year. I kept this last part of the showcase just for really appreciating all of you guys. Like none of them have even read what I'm going to read. First, can we have all of the devs stand up? All of the devs. And we also have we also have two devs that are remote tonight, Soumya and Shreyas. So I mean, I hope they're standing in the rooms wherever they are. I want to start off by saying I know there's a lot of you guys standing, and I know some of you guys might feel this, but just because there's so many of you doesn't mean each and every one of you is any less special. You might think no one noticed the work that you put in, but I promise we did. Like I myself remember sometimes just looking at Git commits or just looking at updates you might have shared on Slack. I know that's slightly creepy, but it's all good. It's easy to forget how much invisible work goes into making something feel simple and seamless. And as you saw in all of these presentations, what you built is really incredible. The hours you spent reading documentation, fixing bugs that only showed up in production, figuring out obscure packages, and let's call it prompt engineering, that too. All of that work made the projects happen. And I really hope that you learned some new skills, were able to apply them to these projects, and see that what you built has really had some impact. Let's give the devs a round of applause. Okay, next, can we have the UX designers stand? I think we all know that UX is a newer and sometimes underappreciated major. And I know some of you guys have probably felt underappreciated at times. But I want to reassure you, and as you just saw, I know your teams will back me up on this, your work has been absolutely essential. All the brainstorming, the wireframing, the prototyping, the 10th time you had to change the color of a button because your annoying TL had a vibe. Every bit of it mattered. You brought intention, clarity, and empathy to these projects. You made them not just usable, but meaningful. And we are so, so grateful for the creativity, the effort, and care you poured into this year. You helped shape the way these projects feel, and that is everything. So let's give the UX designers another big round of applause. And now finally, can we have the lead stand up? Leads, you guys are the backbone of this club. I know how much goes unseen, the extra meetings, the late night Slack exchanges I've had with some of you guys, and the balancing act of being a mentor, a manager, and a friend all at once. You've been there through the slow weeks, the crunch weeks, and everything in between. It's not easy leading a team of students, especially when we're all figuring it out as we go. But you did it. You did it with care, with patience, and with heart. You made space for others to grow, to mess up, to learn, and to shine. And that's not just leadership, that's legacy that you've left behind, and a lasting image you created of yourselves in the minds of your teammates. So from all of us, thank you. This club doesn't run without you, and this year wouldn't have been what it was without your energy and your belief in your teams. Let's give the leads a huge round of applause. And while we do have all of the TL standing, I wanted to give a special mention to a very special man. Jun here has been a part of Hack the Future for longer than I have. And this marks his third year in Hack the Future. And his team and anyone who's ever talked to him will tell you how amazing of a leader and a friend and a support system he is. So let's get a round of applause for Jun. Okay. And now I get to talk. Oh, wow. This has been awesome whole time. I get to talk about my favorite people in the club. And I'm sorry that sounds mean, but it's quite true. The exact word. I've never met a group of people more supportive, more kind, and more capable than them. I know a lot of you guys might not have had the chance to spend time with them. So let me tell you a little bit more about each of them. So first off is Sanjana, our treasurer. She's over there. And honestly, I don't think there's a better way to introduce Sanjana than to say she raised 20K for Hack the Future this year, which for a student club is pretty insane. And fun fact, Sanjana wasn't even part of Hack the Future before she became treasurer, which probably explains why back then we had to eat Jimmy John's at every event, every single time. But now that she's here, it's honestly hard to imagine what Hack the Future would have been like without her. She didn't just manage the money, she gave this club the room to grow, to dream a little bit bigger, and to actually make things happen. So let's give it up for Sanjana. This is a little bit out of order, but that's okay. Next up is Ryan, our tech director. I'm not going to name any names, but some people have admitted to me that when Ryan starts explaining something, they just nod and pretend they understand. Not because they do, but because they don't want to look dumb in front of them. And honestly, like same, but that's the kind of person Ryan is. He's brilliant, but he never makes you feel small. He could explain rocket science to you and somehow still make you feel like you're keeping up. Every single tech workshop this year, Ryan didn't show up. He built it, led it, ideated it, and made sure every dev here had something real to take away. We're seriously lucky to have him take charge of the tech this year. Next up is Lalita, our secretary. Lalita is what I'd call our silent, persistent warrior. She's done so much behind the scenes that a lot of people might not even notice. And that's exactly the point. All the things you probably didn't even think about when you were here. How you're seated, the fact that we're all in Austin Commons, and all of the logistics that made tonight feel easy. That's all Lalita. So if you're sitting here thinking, wow, everything ran pretty smoothly tonight, it wasn't luck, it was Lalita. Let's give it up for Lalita. Vipula is our design director behind the camera right now. And honestly, I don't think it's possible to find a kinder, sweeter, or more empathetic person. We've been friends outside of Hack the Future for almost 2 years now. And some of our friends have this running joke that if Vipula ever did something wrong, the world would probably just explode. And that's kind of the level that we're talking about here. Even as the design director, she didn't just do her job. She stepped into every role the club needed, big or small. She poured her heart, her time, an insane amount of effort into every tiny detail. She also led all of our social media efforts this year. And if you scroll to the Hack the Future page, it's not even recognizable from last year. She made the merch look professional. It looks like we evolved from a student club into an actual organization, which I do think we did. If you didn't know any better, you'd think we got acquired. She's not just an incredible ambassador for UX. She's what you hope UX stands for: intention, empathy, and making things better for people without ever asking for credit. So. Finally, we have Mahika, the VP of Hack the Future. I'm definitely a little bit jealous of how capable she is and how she magically just manages to make things work. She recruited all of her nonprofits and led all of the efforts with respect to TL and nonprofit communication, as you guys probably know. A little known fact for Mahika is that even though she's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, she can also be absolutely terrifying. I don't know if you guys heard her scream over there, but that was scary. So naturally, we made her our official bad cop. Back when we were sending out application decisions, I signed all of the acceptances with my name, and then all the rejections with hers. And you guys might call that a selfish decision, but I just call it self-preservation. If someone was going to hunt me down over rejection, I needed them to be at least a little bit afraid first. And Mahika is fear embodied. So if you ever got an email that ruined your day, that was actually probably me, but I made it look like it was her. And this is also the first time she's hearing about it. So good luck to me, but in all seriousness, thank you, Mahika. I honestly can't put into words how much I love all of you guys, but I hope tonight in some way I did my best to show it. And now that I've talked about everyone else in the room, I want to take a few seconds to just be a little vulnerable. So me, if I were to make myself a slide, but that's okay. I never wrote a line of code before I came to Purdue. In the education system I was in back in India, it wasn't even an option. So the fact that I'm standing here today in front of all of you, having served as president of CS Club, it just feels unreal. You know, whether you realized it or not, you've all given me something I didn't even know I was looking for. You gave me confidence. You gave me a community. You gave me a place where I felt like I could be more than just someone trying to catch up. You made me feel like I belong. And on behalf of all of us on the exec board who worked our asses off to make this happen, I hope that throughout all of the stress, the late nights, the deadlines, that you feel proud. Proud of what you built, proud of your team, and proud of how much you've grown. If there's one thing I hope you take away from Hack the Future, regardless of whether you come back next year or not, it's this. You're capable of a lot more than you think. And when you're surrounded by the people that bring out the best in you, you can achieve things that you would have never imagined. And I think that was the right time to play like a little recap video.
I was scared of being silent conversations. All my friends are telling me that my distance is not in a dream.
So with that, we'll conclude this year of Hack the Future. Please don't let this be the end of the relationship. Say hi, talk to us, talk to the people around you, and be there for each other. We're so proud of you, and I can't wait to see everything you're going to build, everything you're going to become, and everything you're going to achieve. This isn't goodbye, it's just the beginning. Thank you, guys. Okay, you're free to leave now.
Yeah. Nobody's been watching this.
We can save the recording.
Oh, you're right.